I was an employee on this leadership track of this big giant Department of Defense company. There were, don't quote me on this, I want to say there was like 5,000 employees just in this one division of this company. It was like a $3 to $5 billion company division of this company. And the 2IC, the second in command, second in charge of this 5,000 employee division, so the VP came in and did a presentation on leadership in this leadership course we were taking. There was a 10-minute coffee break. I pulled him aside. Hey, sir, my name's Noble, learning lots of stuff. I'd love to know, what does your personal leader development program look like? He kind of looked at me sideways. What? Like what books are you reading right now? What podcasts are you listening to? What TED Talks are you chewing on and working through? Oh, Noble, man. Hey, I don't have time for that kind of stuff, man. I don't have time to read. You kidding me? Come on, man. I'm the VP of, X company. Come on. I don't have time. Listen to a podcast. Oh, I don't have time for that, man. Hey, when I get home, man, I crack open my cold one and I sit and watch TV until I go to sleep. Okay, so I've got mad respect for you with being the 2IC of this big giant, division of this company. I have zero respect as a leader, right? As somebody, for me, and here's why I say that. One of my core values is growth and growing, right? You're either growing or you're dying. And so, it's the psychologist or the psychiatrist who became a psychiatrist because of all the pain and dysfunction that they have gone through, but they've never healed from it. But they're counseling other people because they have a PhD, they have the name, the title, the degree, but they're still completely emotional dysfunctional. That is not healthy to me. That's not, anyway. So I want to encourage you guys, yes, pursue it. Pursue whatever certifications and courses you want to pursue, degrees, pursue all of that. But I just want to encourage you and challenge you to become the most emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically healthy version of whatever it is you're trying to pursue to maximize your effectiveness in that role, in that position. What is going on, EQ gangsters? Hope you all are doing amazing. This episode is sponsored by Lima Charlie Network. To get more info on Lima Charlie Network, visit limacharlienetwork.com. So, have you ever thought about becoming a coach? Have you ever thought about becoming a counselor or a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist? Any of those kind of service-related fields where you are helping people. A lot of people really enjoy helping people. And I've been a coach. I've been coaching for basically over 2 decades, and have thousands of hours coaching. And I love it. Absolutely love coaching. I have had a handful of people since I've started our EQ business and stuff ask me, "Hey, Noble, what certifications do I need to become a, certified EQ coach?" And here's the advice that I gave to them and that I want to give to any of you all that are interested in pursuing maybe a career in coaching or counseling. And when I say coaching, not like athletic coaching, but like business coaching, life coaching, consulting, that kind of stuff. I guess maybe more specifically is like life coaching or EQ coaching, EQ leadership stuff, that kind of thing. Here's my caution or disclaimer. There are a number of, I've heard so many different stories over the years, and especially over the last handful of years specifically that I have been in this space, of how many, and I'd love to hear from you all, that are either watching us on YouTube or watching or listening on our podcast. How many of you all have gone to either a life coach, a counselor, a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, that you thought was an absolute bonehead. Would love to hear from you if that is you, if you fall into that category. Zap me either an email at noble, Noble, at eqgangster.com, or hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, any YouTube, any of the social media channels. I'd love to hear how many of you all have ever sat down with one of those type of people that has just been an absolute bonehead. I've got one of the ladies I interviewed on our podcast, Amy Fiedler. She's Amy at Amy the Life Coach, I believe, on Instagram. And super, man, she has been such a blessing. She's added so much value to our podcast and also to our Mafia, the EQ Mafia members. She did a guest speaking spot to our members. It was awesome on boundaries. It was excellent just last month. And she told a story. She went to therapy, to this therapist, this psychologist, and okay, she's like, okay, tell me what's going on. She shares all her things that were affecting her, impacting her. And the first words out of this therapist's mouth was, or were, my English may not be on point there, you think too much. You think too much. You think too much. That was the first feedback, the first words out of this therapist's mouth to Amy in this very hurting, vulnerable, uncomfortable, discouraged, defeated point in her life. She gets back from this therapist, PhD, tons of education, tons of schooling. You think too much. You need to stop thinking so much. So if you're in the personality demographic that does a lot of thinking, now we all to some degree do a decent amount of thinking, but especially if you're a melancholy personality using the 4 personalities from Personality Plus, sanguine, choleric, melancholy, or phlegmatic, the melancholy of those 4 personalities does the most thinking. Or using DISC, if you're a DISC person, that is the conscientious personality. The conscientious personality does a truckload of thinking, and actually Amy kind of falls into that category of being the conscientious personality. But regardless, it doesn't matter if it's if you're a natural thinker or not. The reality is, come on, man, really? Right? Zero empathy, zero understanding, almost like zero social awareness. And zero self-awareness to even say that. So number one, that therapist missed it, completely missed the boat. So again, missed all the social awareness cues. But then also this no self-awareness to think that would be a comment that would somehow, I don't know what that therapist expected that comment or how that comment to be received, but man, crazy, right? So I use that story to share this for those of y'all that are wanting to pursue coaching and becoming an EQ coach or life coach or any of that stuff. It's awesome, and you can do well. You can do well in this space. I'm getting trained right now, professionally trained, and honing and sharpening and refining my coaching skills through a company called Flatter Inc. And one of their subsidiary companies is a company called Two Roads Leadership, 2RL. So you can Google Flatter Inc. You can Google 2RL, Two Roads Leadership. Strongly, highly recommend them. Here's my disclaimer, and this is kind of the point of this episode. This is my disclaimer for any of you all wanting to pursue and get certifications. It's kind of the buzzword, right? Is, oh man, what certification should I get? No, what certs can I get? And again, this is from multiple people asking me, what certs do I need to become an EQ coach or to become a life coach or business coach? And this is what I would say, what I would tell you all, for those of you all that may be listening that are interested. Again, it's awesome. It's a worthwhile, worthy pursuit. I love, 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 love coaching. I'm so thankful that God has opened the door for me to coach leaders and executives. I love it. That's an absolute passion of mine. Actually fits my fivefold mission statement. The disclaimer is you should not open a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym if you don't know Jiu-Jitsu, right? Going to a 2-day seminar, a 3-day workshop, a week-long Jiu-Jitsu camp, 8 hours a day, 40 hours of Jiu-Jitsu training, I still don't recommend owning a Jiu-Jitsu gym. Maybe even maybe you're like me. I'm 4.5 years in to my Jiu-Jitsu journey, 4.5 years in. So, from an academic standpoint, man, that's 4 years, college degree, right? Maybe a couple years for your, master's degree, a couple years for a PhD. I'm 4.5 years into my Jiu-Jitsu education, which whatever that degree would look like. Well, in Jiu-Jitsu, that degree looks like a blue belt with 2 stripes. Okay. And I just last year alone, I did over 800 rolls, matches, we call it rolls when you roll with somebody, when you do a match. And it's, 5 to 6 minute matches, some are longer, but 5 to 6 minutes is the average match. That's a lot of hours. And I even did the math. I don't remember the math off the top of my head, but it was like 65 hours or 64 hours of actual roll time, not class time. I've done way more hours of class time, but in terms of rolling. So do you think that 4.5 years of pursuing my degree in Jiu-Jitsu that I should open up a Jiu-Jitsu gym? Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you. Well, there's the business component. So from the business side, could I run and operate a successful Jiu-Jitsu gym? Absolutely, no question about it, because I've been doing business for 25 years. So that I have been doing for 25 years. Yes. So from a business standpoint, I'm very confident that I would be able to run the business side of a Jiu-Jitsu gym. Being the primary instructor, or heck, even an alternate instructor, right? I am absolutely do not feel qualified to run and be a primary instructor at a Jiu-Jitsu gym with only 4.5 years of Jiu-Jitsu under my belt. So that's along the lines of what I want to do with my disclaimer here. Intellectual understanding of a field does not mean that you have applied it in your life. It does not mean that you understand all the concepts. So I can, heck, maybe I even do intellectually understand the concepts, right? Intellectually, I understand intellectually how to do an armbar. I intellectually understand how to do an armbar. In terms of me applying an armbar in a live roll, is a completely different ball game. So my intellectual understanding, can I explain to you, could I show you right now how to do an armbar? 100%, absolutely too easy. Applying that concept of an armbar in a live roll is a completely different ballgame. So same thing with emotional intelligence. Here's the 15 areas of emotional intelligence. Here are the 4 major areas of emotional intelligence. Here's the definition of a trigger. Here's a definition of being emotionally hijacked. Here's a definition of being depressed. Here are some tools, how to overcome, how to work through an emotional issue, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I can spout off my intellectual understanding of any of this stuff, of EQ, but here's what and here's the thing too. Here's my other disclaimer. This is my opinion, all my opinion. You can get a PhD in EQ. It does not mean you're emotionally intelligent. Think about that. You could get a master's. You could get all your certifications, right? Your badges and tabs, we call it in the military. That does not mean that let me tell you another story. I gave a presentation on EQ to a group of a handful of military folks, probably 10 military folks, senior leaders in the military. And I asked them from the jump, I even brought this up in one of my previous podcast episodes, how many of you all are familiar with emotional intelligence? Oh man, all of them, you kidding me? And I got some nonverbals, lots of nonverbal. Dude, this guy's he thinks he's gonna teach us some EQ stuff. Yeah, man, I've taken a class, I've taken a couple courses on EQ. Dude, I got this. Here's the question. How many of you are doing a daily, consistent emotional fitness program? Library quiet. Library quiet, y'all. Noble, do you know how to do, and this is the other analogy that I use, do you know how to do CrossFit? Oh man, are you kidding me? I know how to do CrossFit. What do you want to know? You want to know how to do clean and jerk? You want to know how to do wall balls? You want to know how to do pull-ups? I got you. Noble, how many pull-ups can you do? How many wall balls can you do? How often do you do CrossFit? How consistently? Oh, well, don't ask me any of those questions, right? So here's all that to say this. Can you get certs in coaching, in EQ, in leadership, and all this stuff? Absolutely. Yes, you can get certifications. But my challenge to you, for those of you that are seeking, that would seeking something like this, or anything that may be relevant to this kind of space, or apply to these principles could apply to, I want you to be the most emotionally healthy coach. If you're going to teach me EQ, I don't want you to have anger issues still. I don't want you to have a lack of empathy. I don't want you to, when you're coaching me, I don't want you to say, well, dude, just stop thinking less. I mean, yeah, stop thinking so much. You're thinking too much, Noble. You're thinking too, dude. In fact, this is my last week. I'm doing this coaching training, right? Which is awesome. And one of the coaches that was doing their thing, and some of this is very personality related. So, and some of you all may hear this and be like, well, that's no big deal to me, Noble, which is totally fine. For me, this is a big deal. The particular coach had a particular personality that was very transactional. Did not once get on an emotional level of connection with their leader or their client that they were coaching, which again, for some personalities is completely fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're coaching me, you're not my coach. You are not going to be my coach, because I don't want a transactional relationship with my coach that's going to be helping me change my life or whatever. And there's skill to that. I'm reading a coaching book right now. It is blowing my mind. All kinds of stuff, of things that I can work on, improve, change. So I guess what I'm saying is, do not think that you can hide behind some certifications and courses that means you're emotionally healthy. My encouragement to you and challenge to you is, be the most emotionally healthy and also, spiritually healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy coach that you can possibly be. And that requires you being on your own emotional growth journey, your own spiritual growth journey, your own physical growth journey, your own mental growth journey. Here's another one. If you're a coach, and not getting coached, if you're a leader and you're not getting led, if you're not pursuing mentorship somewhere in your life, that's a dangerous spot to be in my opinion. I think I've told this story a couple of times during some of the podcasts. I was an employee on this leadership track of this big giant Department of Defense company there were, don't quote me on this, I want to say there was like 5,000 employees just in this one division of this company. It was like a $3 to $5 billion company division of this company. And the 2IC, the second in command, second in charge of this 5,000 employee division, so the VP came in and did a presentation on leadership in this leadership course we were taking. There was a 10-minute coffee break. I pulled him aside. Hey, sir, my name's Noble, learning lots of stuff. I'd love to know, what does your personal leader development program look like? He kind of looked at me sideways. What? Like what books are you reading right now? What podcasts are you listening to? What TED Talks are you chewing on and working through? Oh, Noble, man. Hey, I don't have time for that kind of stuff, man. I don't have time to read. You kidding me? Come on, man. I'm the VP of, X company. Come on. I don't have time. Listen to a podcast. Oh, I don't have time for that, man. Hey, when I get home, man, I crack open my cold one and I sit and watch TV until I go to sleep. Okay, so I've got mad respect for you with being the 2IC of this big giant, division of this company. I have zero respect as a leader, right? As somebody, for me, and here's why I say that. One of my core values is growth and growing, right? You're either growing or you're dying. And so, it's the psychologist or the psychiatrist who became a psychiatrist because of all the pain and dysfunction that they have gone through, but they've never healed from it. But they're counseling other people because they have a PhD, they have the name, the title, the degree, but they're still completely emotional dysfunctional. That is not healthy to me. That's not, anyway. So I want to encourage you guys, yes, pursue it. Pursue whatever certifications and courses you want to pursue, degrees, pursue all of that. But I just want to encourage you and challenge you to become the most emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically healthy version of whatever it is you're trying to pursue to maximize your effectiveness in that role, in that position. Thank you guys so much for rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing. It may take 15 to 20 seconds to just give us a quick rate and review on the podcast platform that you're listening to. That would mean a lot. If there's an episode that really impacted you, sharing that episode with a friend, a family member, a coworker that you think it might add value to as well would really mean a lot also. Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. Unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. They actually compound. Unaddressed emotional issues don't get better over time. They actually compound. If you don't deal with your emotional issues, your friends, family, coworkers will be forced to.